You ready to play?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I've been thinking. The other day, I wrote an essay about non-attachment and how important it is for entrepreneurs to be non-attached. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you've written a lot lately.
It's the one that I recorded with John.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how when entrepreneurs are maybe afraid to start something, or wannabe entrepreneurs are afraid to start something because they feel like they have to do it forever.
Yeah.
So it's this idea that knowing when you start something that you're going to lose control of it, or that you can lose control over it. And it's like a natural part of some kinds of entrepreneurial endeavors.
Yeah.
Not all of them. I mean, solopreneurships or starting a bike shop, you don't necessarily have to give up control, but something where you're going to be raising a lot of money. So this feeling of permanence might be the barrier to getting started.
Yeah.
So I'm basically making a case that non-attachment is a good thing for an entrepreneur to overcome this barrier of permanence when they're starting something. Make sense?
Tracking.
Okay, cool. So, as I was thinking about the training that I do with my clients, one of the things that I teach is extreme ownership. Like if you're going to start a company, you're not starting something to sell it. You're starting something that you would, if you were starting a house flipping business, it's not about building houses to sell that you wouldn't live in yourself. It's about building houses that you would live in yourself for it to be bought.
Yep.
And I realized that this was a good whole mind game topic because on one hand I'm saying extreme ownership. If you're going to start a business, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you should have extreme ownership over what you're doing. And on the other hand, I'm saying, hey, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you should have non-attachment. You shouldn't be so attached to this thing. It's not something that you necessarily own or that you're going to do forever. It kind of takes on a life of its own.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, is Andrew talking out of two sides of his mouth over here? So anyway, I thought it'd be fun to explore this concept of, especially around entrepreneurship, but I guess it could be in all aspects of life, non-attachment on one side and ownership on the other side. So, cool. Let's start with non-attachment. Getting blasted by the fire right now. What do you think is the best of non-attachment?
Not holding on too tight. Getting to try something different. I'm rusty at the whole mind game. FYI. So when you told me that you wanted to do one on the fly, I'm extra rusty.
It's good. This is what it's like when it's not rehearsed. It's good.
All right, so what did I say?
You said not holding on too tight, getting to try new things.
Lots of growth is coming to mind.
Okay.
Yeah, what about for you?
I think one of the biggest pieces for me when I think about non-attachment is that my vision for what I think a thing is going to be um, can overwhelm it. So it's like if I've got a concept for a new business and I'm so attached to it, to what it's going to be, it's like I it's like I strangle its possibilities. So it's like, so the best of non-attachment is being open to all of the, to everything it could become.
Okay. So openness to possibility.
Openness to possibilities. Thank you.
Yeah, in that you just said the worst of it in that sentence, FYI.
I don't. So I said, I think what I'm getting at is it's the worst of being attached. The worst of attachment is that I strangle its possibilities. So
maybe that's the worst of ownership.
that might be the worst of ownership. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the worst of non-attachment.
All right. So I guess being non-committal, like whatever, man.
Yeah.
That's it. Whatever, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not having enough skin in the game.
Yep. Yeah.
There's an essence of not caring in there too. I don't know if that's true, but it's definitely a direction you could take it. Because you can definitely care about something and have non-attachment.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's where it's a sneak preview to whatever the best of the best is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we're answering our own questions here.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, the worst of non-attachment. Yeah, I think it's that sleazy salesperson kind of attitude, like I'm not attached to anything. It's just kind of sleazy. I don't know. That's the way that I think about it. It's like someone who dates somebody and doesn't care about them in a way
Low respect.
Low respect. Yeah, it's like a lack of respect.
I love that we've painted this non-attachment evil man who's a sleazeball and says, whatever, man.
Yeah. The whatever man sleazeball is the
non-attachment
is the worst of being non-attached.
the person that you don't want to date your daughter.
Yeah, but then I don't want the extreme ownership person to necessarily. I don't want the worst of extreme ownership to date my daughter either.
Yeah. This is switch from entrepreneurship to dating advice now, or parenting.
Yeah, it works. It works really well for entrepreneurship and dating advice and parenting. Yeah. I think all of the above. Yeah, let's look at that. So I just want to say that for a second. So for parenting, it's like the best of non-attachment would be my child can become whatever they're going to become. I'm not attached to a vision of them, of their future. The worst of non-attachment is I don't really give a shit about them and I'm not participating in their lives.
Yeah. You do you.
Yeah, you do you. I feel like anything that applies to entrepreneurship applies to dating, applies to parenting.
Fair.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so how about the best of ownership, and I want to say extreme ownership. So, because to me, non-attachment is like kind of an extreme version of that trait in many ways. So, extreme ownership, the best of extreme ownership. I'm getting blasted by the smoke again over here.
Do you want to go first this time? Because I've been going first.
Sure. Okay, so best ownership. Yeah, so the best of extreme ownership, it's like it's maximum responsibility. It is, yeah, it's I am responsible for the things that are happening around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. Just yeah, it's responsibility, I feel like.
What's coming to mind for me is blame.
In the best of.
Oh no, sorry. Rusty. No. In the worst.
The best of
I'm
extreme
still in
ownership.
The worst. Okay.
Responsibility as a good thing, I'm saying.
Yeah. When I heard that come out of your mouth, I thought of the worst. That's really funny. When you said max responsibility, I was like, must be the worst part. Or must be talking about the worst part first.
Oh, interesting. No, yeah, I see responsibility as a good thing. Interesting. We'll have to maybe dig in on that concept.
Yeah, say more on that. Why is responsibility?
I'm gonna adjust the fire.
Why is max responsibility the best? I'm not sure if I get it.
Wow, I feel like responsibility is a positive trait, right? Like, I guess I would want to raise my children to be responsible, right? So then I associate being responsible with good behavior, right? So to me, when I think about me being responsible for things, it feels really good. And when I know, like, honestly, so that this concept of extreme ownership, when I take it to, say, the workplace, and I can play the blame game and say it's everybody else's fault, it's what's happening to me. But when I turn around and I say, no, this is my responsibility, it's empowering. It's like, oh yeah, this is my attitude, my workplace, my culture is my responsibility. It feels very empowering. It feels like a positive trait to me.
Cool. I'm glad you highlighted that, because I think for the normal person, when they hear max responsibility, that feels like heavy, a lot on your plate, way too much. Like, that's what I feel is the knee-jerk reaction for most of society.
Interesting.
I would say, or most of the people that I interact with and coach.
Yeah. So if we were playing the whole mind game and we chose responsibility as the word, you could see the good side and the shadow side of it right there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But I think the way you say max responsibility, it like makes it feel extra heavy.
Okay. I probably said max because extreme ownership, max responsibility. I'm just kind of keying in on that.
So like, what you're really saying is, like, you get to own every part of what you're building, and you get to have like creative license for all of it. You get to hold every piece of what you're doing and be in ownership of it.
Yeah, but yes, I want to use all of that's around entrepreneurship, sounds that way. But if I say extreme ownership around, say, a relationship, so I'm dating someone, and this is the best of extreme ownership.
Yeah.
It's like I own this relationship. I feel responsible for this relationship. Like, when it's this relationship is my responsibility, which is a lot different than which the shadow side is going to be like owning the person as opposed to owning the relationship, right? Like owning that responsibility, right? So in parenting, it's owning the responsibility of being a parent as opposed to owning that child. Like that's my child. I'm basically doing the shadow side simultaneously here to point out the difference. So like, yeah, maybe it's just easier to talk about both sides. Like when I think of extreme ownership, and I use the word responsibility, then on one side I'm saying this child's my responsibility, this business is my responsibility, this relationship is my responsibility. Like I care about the results of this in a way that I own. And when things go south, when something's going wrong with this business, I need to look at what I could be doing better. When something's going wrong with the relationship, it's like I need to figure out what I could be doing better. And when something's going wrong with my kid is not behaving properly, or my dog is not behaving properly, I see extreme ownership as this is my responsibility. What can I be doing better to make this better?
Okay, so there's more power to fix and adjust as needed to your desire. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
More
Power. Interesting. Okay.
I think the best of extreme ownership is, I think what comes to mind for me is like getting to have a choice at every level, to get to create at every phase of whatever you're building. So, like you said, max responsibility. I'll say max creation, choices, caring for something.
Yeah.
Nurturing. I like nurturing better than caring. Nurturing.
All right. How about the worst of extreme ownership?
Well, I already threw out blame.
Yep.
So when shit goes down, you're to blame, because you are I'm going to say responsible again. You own it.
So like, but what you mean by blame is self-blame.
Yeah.
Max extreme ownership is self-blame.
Yeah. I mean, it could be external blame too, but we won't go down that rabbit hole, but that's the first thing that came to mind is blame. When things go wrong, there's no one else to blame. Suffocate. Grip too tight.
Yeah.
But going back to what you were saying about non-attachment and how it there's an openness to have something grow into whatever it wants to. Like in this extreme ownership, when you grip too tight, it's like you're just such a rigid opportunity for whatever you're building to it almost snuffs it out. It has that feeling to it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with possessiveness. Is that a word? Possessiveness?
I don't know. It sounds good.
Possessive. It's like, so I like to use all the examples. Extreme ownership. I own this business. It's like, it will only be whatever I want it to be. It's hard to. Is it do the employees make the culture, or does Andrew make the culture? And then in the relationship, like being possessive over a partner, being possessive over children, to me is very much the dark side of extreme ownership.
Yeah, agree.
Okay. Cool. All right, so let's see if we can do the best of the best. The best of non-attachment. I've got, not holding too tight, trying new things, growth, open to possibilities, and the best of ownership, more power, more choice, more creativity, more nurturing. I said more responsibility. So what happens when we get the best of being non-attached with the best of extreme ownership?
You get to have amazing opportunity for growth and max power, max creation, max nurture.
Yeah. Can you boil that down to a word or a phrase?
That's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say creative power. I'm gonna go with creative power because what I see is the best of ownership. One of the words was creativity or create. Oh wow, and power. But the best of non-attachment was also. Oh, you know what? It was growth and possibilities. So let me think about this again. It's like the power to create and grow, or creative growth. Creative growth crosses both lines. Creative growth.
That sounds, yeah.
I mean, I think we can go a lot of places with this. It's like, nurturing possibilities. I'm just like picking words from both the best of the best.
Yeah. Nurturing something, but not snuffing it out. I'm having a hard time, like, keeping this particular game very concise language.
Yeah, tight. It's hard to keep it tight.
Yeah. These are big concepts.
Yeah.
So okay, so I'm cool with settling on creative growth.
Creative growth. Yeah, I like it. And the shadow side is like this non-committal sleazebag who grips too tight and is possessive.
Gross.
Yeah.
Strict.
Dirtbag.
Yeah.
I mean, someone who's possessive.
Strict and uncaring. Possessive dirtbag.
Yeah, possessive sleazebag.
Perfect.
All right, I'm getting blasted by the fire over here. So I wrote an essay that tried to explore the best of the best and the worst of the worst. I don't think it's nearly as good as what we just did here. I'm not going to read it right now, but I'll throw it in the show notes.
Yeah, cool.
This was fun. Any last thoughts before I?
Yeah, it feels incomplete. Like,
okay.
Something about this feels incomplete.
Well, let's complete it.
Yeah. So how do you, like, as an entrepreneur, both embody the best of the best here? Like, how does somebody take the responsibility, the choice, the power, own that, but also be unattached to the outcome?
Yeah.
Allow something to grow, not grip too hard. Like, what's like a pearl of wisdom that you can share on that?
Yeah. Let's talk about. So this is great. I'm glad you made it keep on going here. I wanna talk about maybe all three of those things again, right? So entrepreneurship, parenting, and relationships, right? So to me, the best of the best, being non-attached and having ownership. So when it's entrepreneurship, it is the example that I gave. I think I actually talked about it in the last episode, where the metaphor for an entrepreneur is this pilot who's willing, who has the bravery to take the plane up off the ground, to fly an airplane, and lift it up off the ground. But they're also humble enough to step aside and maybe let another pilot take over and be a co-pilot. And they also don't mind rolling up their sleeves and going out into the cabin and being a steward and giving out drinks and snacks and making sure everybody on the flight's comfortable. And they're also capable of sitting in a passenger seat and just kind of enjoying the ride non-judgmentally, not being like, I would do it this way or I would do it that way. Like, it's being flown by somebody else now, and maybe even at some point throw on a parachute and jump out of the plane. And so, but at the end of the day, it's like that responsibility, that non-sleazeballness would be, if my business is, I love the flipping houses. I use the flipping houses in the essay that I wrote. It's like, if I'm going to go into business flipping houses and I have some kind of integrity, then I know the minute this is a business that I know that I'm not going to live in the house. Right? And so that's the kind of, and there's a lot of businesses. When you start a medical device company, I know once I raise money from venture capitalists, I'm going to lose control. So when you go into a business knowing that you're going to lose control, do you have the integrity to build it as if you would live in it forever, and also know that it will be set free? And I think that there's just tons of lessons. Honestly, being a pet owner, it's like when you adopt that dog, when you bring that dog home from the pound, that dog is our responsibility. Max ownership, extreme ownership. But we also, in many ways, have to be non-attached, because we know that dog's not going to be with us forever. That dog's going to move on.
And they have free will.
And they have, right?
Yeah. I think. Can I add to what
your
please. Point is? Like,
yeah.
I think another concept here that comes up in my coaching a lot is like this idea that the person you're working with, or the dog, or even, you could even say this about a house, is going to has a certain like life force of its own to transform in a way that you can't control. And by just acknowledging that, it lets that other person really grow and take ownership on their own, while you can step back and watch that growth happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. yeah, what I'm envisioning in my head is a relationship, and having extreme ownership, commitment to the relationship, while at the same time knowing that I'm not attached to the exact person that I married a decade ago, or that you're going to grow and change.
Mm-hmm.
You're 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 going to change physically, you're going to change emotionally, mentally, like
Mm-hmm.
you're an independent person with free will.
Yeah, and unattached to the vision you may have had in the beginning of what our life is going to be. You
Yeah.
know?
I think that leads to pain and suffering, right? So then
Yeah.
on the other side of that equation is, if I'm the worst of the worst of non-attachment and ownership, it's like I'm possessive over this relationship, and I have this vision that I'm attached to, and when that vision does not come true, it feels like all this pain and suffering because it's not going the way that I wanted it to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's such a dance between these two of like stepping into ownership, stepping into non attachment. Like, as a new entrepreneur, that feels really like a battle that I'm always effort and ease. So, ownership and non attachment, like, constantly in a dance with each other in that gray zone,
yeah,
is, I think, a sweet spot.
yeah. It's an interesting way to think about it. I guess when when the dance is the best of the non-attachment
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
best
yeah.
of the ownership, I think it's so easy to slip into the shadow sides of these things, like
Yeah.
to get possessive over a thing, to get a. It's in many ways the worst of both of them is I feel like almost the same thing. Like the worst of, well, I guess they're different, but it's like when you start to say, I just don't care. You're so attached to something that the way you move to non-attachment is to say, I just don't care. I don't give a shit. Like it's no big deal. I don't care. Like if you use I don't care to move towards non-attachment, it's using the worst of
Yeah.
non-attachment,
Yeah. I feel it. Uh huh.
right?
Yeah. It's almost like a cop out.
Yeah. As opposed to being like, I'm so excited to see what you become.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited. Oh, I let my, somebody else took over the business. I'm so excited to see where they take it.
Mm-hmm.
Or how about as a writer, there's these stories about writers whose essays get turned into films, and there's this debate, you know, was the film as good as the book? Or I think a lot of people, maybe they get attached to their idea. They read the book, they're attached to their vision,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go see the movie and they're like, oh, it wasn't as good. And it's, instead of saying like, wow, it's incredible to see what that director and those actors did with that script where they took it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a, yeah, um,
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I think that feels more complete now.
cool.
I'm imagining I've got creative growth written on my paper and possessive sleaze bag, and then in my mind I just like made cartoon characters of each one.
Don't be a possessive
Sleaze
sleaze bag. All right, with that, I'm going to go hit the stop recording button. Thanks for doing it with me.
Sure, honey.